I want to start with what happened yesterday. Sam Konstas, Virat Kohli got into physical altercation, something that many former cricketers didn't like, the fans didn't like. They wanted a certain action against Virat Kohli. ICC has fined him 20% of his match fee for that, and also handed him one demerit point. But the talking point today is how the Australian media has reacted to this incident, and this is the newspaper, the sport newspaper, the West Australian sport newspaper, Clown Kohli. They say, your thoughts on this? Do you think this will spice things up now?
Yeah, obviously this is gonna spice things up, and Virat Kohli will be, charged up today because ultimately what happened yesterday was unfortunate. When I was not expecting that to, anybody in the world was not expecting Virat Kohli to behave like the way he did yesterday, and as a result, you can see this clown Kohli on the front page of the Western Australian newspaper. I mean, this has spiced up the thing. I mean, Boxing Day test matches in Australia are always very spicy. I mean, in the last few years, because of the players' participation in the IPL, the friendly banters between the players, the India-Australia spice up level has gone down
Yeah.
a bit. But now, after this act, I mean, the things will really gonna spice up, and Kohli will have a chance to, give it back to the Australian media and all over the world to, that he is still the boss. And I mean, we expect then Virat Kohli to score a big runs today. If he manages to do though, I mean, that will be a fitting reply to all these, all these media reports, all these media activities that are going around. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, this has really spiced up the thing, and it is gonna be an interesting day two of the Boxing Day test match today.
Yeah, but Harshit, how do you see this? I've seen social media now divided on this. There's a certain section who believes that, well, Virat Kohli deserved this. Media will do such sort of things if you do what you did on the field yesterday. But then there's the other section who says that media, as a media, there's a certain boundary. There are certain ethics that you don't cross. Now you are a journalist yourself. You have been covering the game for a long time. Is there's a boundary in media, we know there's a boundary. Do you think doing something like this, calling someone a clown Kohli with a photo up front on the front page, a red nose, and talking about Virat Kohli, is it within the ethics, is it within the rights of the media, or do you think they have overstepped their line here?
I mean, no, I'm not really surprised because I've been following sports for almost for more than 6 years now, and I've seen how media reacts to sports person around the globe. I mean, if you look at football, I mean, these things are very common. Australian media used to do that in the last few years. We have not seen that, but whenever Ashes takes place, they come up with such kind of things as well, and I'm not surprised that they have used Kohli for this. And this has happened to Kohli after what he did yesterday. I mean, before till that, the Australian media was praising Kohli. There were newspapers, there were newspaper headlines. Kohli was making the headlines on the front page. Even Yashasvi Jaiswal was making headlines
Yeah.
in the build up to the BGT. So all this, all this act has happened just because of the what has happened in yesterday, and that was an unfortunate thing. I mean, I would not say that the boundary line has been crossed or something like that, because we have seen this
Yeah.
kind of activities by the media around the globe in the past as well. So I'm
Yeah.
not really surprised, but yeah, definitely it has spiced things up a bit. And Virat Kohli, as we know, he gets motivated, gets charged by things like that. So if he is
Yeah.
getting charged up with things like that, we can expect a very really spicy day two of the Boxing Day Test match, and then and this can go either ways. It can go in favor of the Indian team as well, and can go in the favor of Australian team as well. Because
Yeah.
if a Virat Kohli charge of Virat Kohli comes out in the middle today and scores big runs, it's gonna be very very helpful for the Indian team. On the other side, if Virat Kohli flops again, then Australian media will have a even more greater chance to give a reply to the Indian team for what he did. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, in any case, this has spiced things a little, and I'm really gonna excited to see what's going to unfold today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is something that the fans were hoping for. They wanted something of similar sorts, that Australian media or Australian players or Australian fans does something, and which triggers Virat Kohli, and then he goes into his old self, his old mode where he was obviously being poked, and then he used to come out and score centuries and answer with his bat, and that is what the fans were hoping. Well, now, as I've been reading on social media, they are hoping that maybe this is something, this newspaper clipping in Australian newspapers in the morning today, this will poke Virat Kohli. This will push him to do well with the bat in the fourth test. But as you said, it can go either ways. Yeah, obviously, being Virat Kohli, he can come out and score a century. You never know. But then it can also work in Australia's favor, because Virat Kohli is driven by ego right now. Would he want to touch that ball at the fifth stump? वही सवाल है कि runs मारने की भी अब वो होगी उनमें. Will he be able to show the patience? Because yesterday ahead of the match he had a short interview with Ravi Shastri for Fox Cricket, where he said that I have not been patient. I have not stuck on the crease for a long period of time. I've been disappointed with my batting. So we'll have to wait and see कि अगर वो plan बना के आए भी थे कि I'll spend some more time, I'll leave some more balls, क्या ये जो इंसिडेंट है उसके बाद वो और ईगो ड्रिवन उनके शॉट्स आएंगे कि यार आई वांट टू स्कोर अ बाउंड्री, आई वांट टू स्कोर रन्स, आई वांट टू शो दैट आई कैन स्कोर रन्स, आई वांट टू आंसर द ऑस्ट्रेलियन मीडिया, द ऑस्ट्रेलियन फैंस. तो ये देखना बहुत 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 इंटरेस्टिंग होगा. बट एज ऑफ नाउ दिस इज व्हाट इट इज, दिस इज द ऑस्ट्रेलियन न्यूज़पेपर्स इन द मॉर्निंग. वील हैव टू वेट एंड सी क्या होता है इसका रिएक्शन.